This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch. Hello, my name's Harry Feb. Welcome to our program. Okay, you are what you watch. Tama nga naman, I always say that show after show because information is all that it's all about. Now, let's call a spade and look at the other priorities that are facing us in its face. Alam mo, ang pinag-uusapan po dito yung mga OFWs ngayon kasi tama nga naman, lumalabas sa dyaryo, sa mga periodiko, at lumalabas, kawawa naman yung mga Pilipino sa mga nagtatrabaho sa Hong Kong alone, ha? Because, isipin natin, ilang kaya yun? 150,000 based on the last count. Now, naririnig ko sa radyo, nababasa natin sa periodiko, naririnig natin sa TV, ang dami nagre-reklamo, sumisigaw, miski mga ibang kongreso, miski Senado, sinabi na nila, Pinoy, ano ba naman, mag-sorry ka naman. Now, not for anything. There are reasons why the President and the Cabinet has decided to shield the President from apologizing to another country such like Hong Kong. I am sure his reasons are apt or tama nga naman eh. Siya ang leader natin, siya ang binoto natin, he's a democratically elected and that's within his powers. So be it. But let's look at the spade being the spade. Sino ang VIP sa bayan ito? Sino ang heroes natin? Sino nagdadala ng, let's see, 25 bilyones US dollars sa Pilipinas. Out of 100 million Filipinos, we have over 10 million spread all over the world, out of which 85 to 90% are professional workers. We call them now OFWs, Overseas Foreign Workers. Ang ganda ng title. It used to be mga katulong umaabroad. Pero hindi mo pwede sabihin puro katulong kasi mga Pilipino mahusay Marami tayong marino, marami tayong inhinero. I mean, we built many places in the Middle East. Now, the problem is, kaawa-awa naman sila because they all get into trouble and they get into harassment and situations that are beyond anyone's control. For example, the Arab Spring, and as of late, Yemen. So it's not just Hong Kong, it's everywhere else. And rightfully so now, they have at least a voice in Congress. Tama nga naman. As much as we would like to help them, it is not all that easy. This is what it's all about. Ladies and gentlemen, for a change, we'll talk about positive issues. Because alam mo, reklamo ako ng reklamo. Ang dami ko sabi sa akin, Harry, galit ka talaga kay Pinoy, no? Ladies and gentlemen, I am not out to harass the President. I am out to do my job here in media to point out issues that relate to the management of the country. And it is my duty, it is my responsibility. Better yet, it's what I should do being a Filipino. And anyone who stops me in doing this, I will challenge you head on. Because unless we are no longer a democracy and we have no longer any freedoms, to hell with you. Parang ganun po ang labanan yan. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest you will enjoy. He's not just a politician, he's new in Congress, but he's also a celebrity of sorts. My classmate and old friend, Congressman Johnny Revilla. Alam mo, I have to get used to that, Congressman.
Yeah, even I'm getting used to that.
Hindi, kasi as much as we're friends, I've known you since we were young, high school pa, and we have common friends and relatives there. You see, you have to respect the position as much as we're friends.
Of
so
course.
I have to be careful. Mas lalo na I'm political when I speak, or I have to be careful and I have to respect that position. And I'm glad that you're there. I'm proud you're there. In fact, all our classmates are based on Facebook, di ba?
Yeah.
Everybody enjoys that you're now the congressman. Congressman Johnny, how's it been Mag-isang taong ka na dyan. And
Well,
how'd you find it?
less than a year, kung tutuusin mo. Since July, so it's February now. So
Malapit
it's-
na,
Malapit
malapit
na,
na.
malapit na.
But you're no stranger to politics.
I know, but I've never really wanted to be a politician. It wasn't
I know
in my,
that.
we've known each other a long time.
It's me who wanted to be the politician,
yeah,
not
which,
you.
yeah,
Yes,
and,
yes,
and
yes.
you would have been a fun politician. I know you would.
Well, I'll
have.
be complaining a lot.
Yeah,
but
a
go
lot,
ahead.
a lot. But it's been really a learning curve for me for the first 7 months. Actually, I really wanted to learn Congress first to figure out before I
And
started.
the protocol, the
The
system.
protocol, the system, and
bureaucracy,
especially now, syempre with all this thing about this, a former word that's no longer existing, this PDAF, whatever that means anymore.
Malas mo, I'm sorry.
That's what everybody keeps telling me, malas mo. But, being that this is my first term, I've never experienced what PDAF is all about.
So nothing won, nothing lost.
Yeah, exactly. So now I have to do with what I have, what I can deal with in Congress. And it's really, I have to tell you, Harry, I'm proud of these, especially this new group of young Turks. They got great ideas. They're really passionate. Siyempre, medyo, they're also in the, pare, what's happening now? There's some sadness because right now Congress is perceived as a den of thieves, and we're a step lower than child beaters or something.
Masama ang perception.
Masama talaga. Kawawa naman ang mga kongresista. But not everybody in Congress, let's face it, are crooks. Not everybody. Come on.
Meaning to say there are crooks.
No, meaning to say you cannot condemn the whole. One bad apple doesn't spoil the whole tree, right? So basically that's it. And there's so many good guys.
Well,
that
the
when
way I
we talk
see
to-
it, since nawala yung PDAF, the discretionary spending and whatnot, especially if the old fogies, those that have been around a long time, you're now concentrating more now talaga on policies and actual legislation.
Correct.
Which is really what the job entails. Correct. me if I'm wrong,
Correct.
diba?
And that's totoo. If you really think about it, we're legislators.
Right.
We actually have to make laws. But there is one group of people that you don't realize that's really in touch with their constituents, and that's congressmen.
Kasi you have
Diba?
no choice. Eh.
They have no choice. Di ba?
You represent them.
I represent. Like I represent the OFWs.
OFWs.
Right now, I am, aside from Philippine-based, they're all over the place. I'm also worldwide based as far
Yes,
as
you
my
are.
constituencies is concerned. But a district congressman deals straight with his district.
Easier to deal
Easier,
with, actually. Yes.
right? And they really talk to him. Okay, everybody says there's the mayors, there's the local
Correct.
government units, blah blah blah. But actually, the truth is, congressmen really, really deal and know what their constituents want. You go to any place in the province, and I'm telling you, 90%, 95% don't even know what PDAF is. They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't care about all these things. All they want is, Kong, you were helping me here, my studies, my medicine.
Ngayon, nawala.
Ngayon, nawala.
Mali nga naman eh. Mas
Yeah,
lalo na yung
kasi-
mga social services,
Kasi
medicine,
it's not,
education,
with all due respect to local government units and to the agencies, they can't go to every single one. You need as much help as you can. This is what some congressmen do, and a lot of congressmen
Yes.
do. And ako, like I said, being a first-time congressman, and I listen to my colleagues, and the whole time they're telling me how sad it is, how difficult it is for them now to move, kasi wala ng PDAF eh.
Well,
in Congress talagang wala ng PDAF.
well, yung mga traditional kasi, ginamit yan for patronage politics for the re-election. Yun talaga nagiging problema. But you're right. I have met a number, in fact, very many, that where the PDAF has become more limiting rather than the source of corruption. Kaawa-awa.
Correct.
Ang natalo hindi yung congressman eh, but the constituents.
Correct.
Oo.
Correct.
But,
And ang dami, and a lot of people, just look, Harry. Luneta. Luneta. Who were there? Who were in Luneta? It wasn't those that really are represented by, that the congressmen represent, or who
not
take
that.
care. It's not. Most of them are Metro Manila people,
Ah.
people who do not benefit from PDAF.
Correct.
No matter how you look. I'm not defending, I'm just defending the fact that it's hard to deal with the situation for me, being first timer. All of a sudden, I'm put into this. You're in
Yeah.
regular society.
Nasa harap ka,
And nasa harap ka. And,
Nasa harap ka,
it's,
nasa
you know, it's sayang.
How do you handle situations that really have no room for maneuvering? For example, itong Hong Kong, no? I mean, you've got the president, you're aligned with the president, hindi naman kayo anti-administration, you want to work together with legislation. You feel for your constituents in Hong Kong, and yet, the accident, obvious naman, wala naman may gusto nangyari
Siyempre.
doon. And even the fumbling by Mayor Lim or the police, hey, wala
The
naman may
perceived
gusto niyan
alleged
eh.
fumbling,
Oo,
yeah.
I mean, hindi naman gusto gawin
course.
yan eh.
Okay.
The point is, lumala, and now you've got this situation. How do you handle situations na you really have no room to move?
Unang-uno, and let's put it in perspective. There have been many, many worldwide events where Filipinos were killed. Tiananmen Square.
Correct.
I mean,
just recently lang.
Yeah, di ba?
Yung
Yung
nabangga.
eksakto. Does the Philippine government
Correct.
ask for an apology?
Correct. I agree with
Hindi
that.
ba?
I agree with
And
that.
you're looking at, okay, let's call Hong Kong what it is. Hong Kong is still part of China.
Correct.
So technically, no matter how you look at it, Hong Kong is not a country. So you're asking a president of another country, a sovereign president of another country, to apologize.
Hindi pwede.
Hindi pwede.
But
Eh,
what
you know,
do you do?
I can see where the president's coming from. I accept that. But there's a school of thought.
Correct.
Right now, dahil sa mga, for me, now as being the OFW congressman, I would like
Sa
to
inyo
tell...
nakaharap eh.
Siyempre.
Sorry, pero...
I went, as a matter of fact, I was in Hong Kong recently. We went, I visited this
Yung
organization.
linggo? Sa tuwing linggo, ang dami
Oh,
nila
grabe,
dyan,
grabe.
ah.
You know, I went
Singapore, ganun din. Sa Lucky Plaza, ganun din
And you
eh.
walk around and you see all the Filipinos there, and they're just there relaxing.
You can talk to everybody. You have a crowd
Exactly.
right away.
So we talked, and it really affects them. So for me, as the representative, they asked me, Kong, what can you do? I mean,
Totoo nga naman.
Di ba?
What can you
What
do?
can I do? Well, I would like to think that I could ask the president without saying we're at fault. There's a way of saying, look, I'm sorry for what happened.
Pero mukhang tumitigas na si
Siyempre,
Pinoy.
siyempre, but-
as of late, ha?
But I mean, to say I'm sorry for what happened without saying it's our fault.
You have to be a diplomacy, ano? Dapat, no
Di ba?
choice ka.
No choice ka.
Pero
So,
where do you see that going? Okay, they've stopped people like you
yeah,
traveling.
I need a visa.
Yeah,
You
need a
don't.
visa. Yeah, I don't.
I do.
You do. That's what I mean. That's stage one.
Yeah.
And then it will go to stage two, wherein the general public may require a visa. But I don't see how Hong Kong can do that because economically they're stabbing themselves. And
Exactly.
by
Right
the
now-
end of this year, hindi pwede.
Right now,
Integration of ASEAN.
I feel they're doing, they're trying to just slap us in the face, and I'm
So
for
you're
the president.
confident. You're confident it
I'm-
won't get worse.
I don't think it will because they need the Philippines also. They need us. Let's face it.
Malakas ang tourism din natin
Siyempre,
doon. Tsaka mga
siyempre.
tao natin,
Siyempre.
if our workers weren't there to take care of their homes, they gotta stay home.
Yeah.
And they can't go to work.
I'm sure if you really look at the figures of how much Filipinos spend in Hong Kong,
Malaki
just
rin.
like in Hong Kong. I mean,
That's
just
right,
going there.
that's right,
it's,
that's right. Favorite
yeah.
ano yan, destiny?
Yeah,
Because it's
sakto.
very close.
It's very close. It's
cheap
like-
for airfare.
Yeah, it's sometimes quicker for me to go to Hong Kong than to drive to Fairview.
Ain't that the truth?
It's a
Ain't
traffic,
that the
di ba?
truth? Ain't that the truth? But that's another issue.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
not go.
altogether, let's not go there.
You
We can
Tol-
go there. That's
Tol-
another topic
Tol-
altogether.
Tolentino is one of my favorites. You know, but going back to Hong Kong, kawa-awa naman because we did build them. So you don't think at least, so what you're telling us, don't go in front of the cart, you know, in other
Yes.
words, antayin mo muna because you don't think the money will get. Kasi maraming doomsayers sinasabi,
Correct.
malapit na yan. Sasabihin, hindi na tayo, tas yung mga kontrata ng mga OFWs, hindi na i-renew. So, let's not jump the gun, is what you're saying. Keep calm lang, keep
I
calm.
really believe that this will have a way, like everything in life, of straightening itself out. This is a situation that I know through this diplomacy we can actually fix this. Okay.
Kaya.
I mean, who's
And just keep talking, in other words.
and who's affected now? Us. I mean,
Correct.
you know, we're a very small group of people. There are government official.
Congressman, is your office being the representative chosen as the party list for the OFW family? Does the foreign relations, our Department of Foreign Relations or Department of Foreign Affairs, do they coordinate with you at the very least?
Well,
Maski papano?
actually, right now I'm in direct
least
contact.
policy,
Yeah,
no?
with Secretary De Rosario. We were talking earlier about him. He's a very approachable fellow. He's very affable, and I really believe that this is a good secretary. I really believe that his heart is in the right place, and I've had a lot of issues with some.
Because ang daming
Yeah.
issues, Yemen,
Yeah, and of
OFWs,
course
yeah.
you get phone calls, people call you, and I
May
address
diretso ba
it.
sa'yo mga OFW?
Yeah, many
Matawag
times.
diretso?
Yeah. Yes, many times.
Oh, hassle. Sige, go ahead.
I have a web page, and they
Sure. Oh, gosh, okay.
And it's almost immediate. I get replies from the Department of Foreign Affairs, and I'm able to. There are some issues that you have to remember. There are two sides to a coin.
Yes.
Always. There are things that now we're being in my position where I represent the OFWs, and I'll always represent the OFWs, and I'll fight for them because that's who
It's your mandate, then.
my mandate. Thank you. But you understand what also happens on the other side. I mean, we're not a perfect group of people. You know that.
May mga magnanakaw dyan, may killer, may rapista.
Yes. You know what I mean?
May
But
illegal
yeah,
pa, yan ang masakit dyan,
yan ang
illegal
masakit.
pa.
And like you mentioned, there are 10 million OFWs all over the world, but that's 10 million registered OFWs.
There's more.
There's more. There's more.
May headache.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got the OFW party list. You've got your constituents that's spread all over the world. You've got the Department of Foreign Affairs, which you have to sort of coordinate with because these people are not in our country,
Yeah.
but abroad,
Abroad,
overseas.
right.
So foreign.
You're right.
How about the Vice President? He has taken it onto himself to be the czar for the OFWs, di ba?
Correct.
And he
Yes.
likes to come out and flash in the front papers, in front of the headlines, and say, he's always there when someone's in trouble. Kung
He is.
malapit na ibibitay, di ba?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Now, does that coordinate with you? Nakakatulong ba sa inyo?
Well, actually, I have spoken with the Vice President, and I've told him that I am here for him to help him.
kasi
you
personal niya yan eh.
Yeah, but you got to see, again, let's go back to what my job really is. My job is to make laws for the OFW.
Policy,
Yeah,
Ken.
policy.
Policy.
Now, when I go above that, when I go, like, if he goes to, let's say, Saudi, if there's a problem in Saudi, and I go with him as a representative, I'm only going as a representative of the
aid
OFW.
of legislation.
Yes, that's
In
it.
aid, yeah.
I mean, we forget that. And, many times I get phone calls that say, Kong, you got to help me with this. I'm stuck. Because obviously that's not
Yeah.
really
It's
in
not
my
your
job.
mandate.
Yeah.
But
See?
it's difficult, Johnny, because
Because
people
look,
will...
let me interrupt a little
go
bit.
ahead,
You
go
got to remember, there are many laws already. Ang daming mga batas para sa OFW that protect them. The problem is not the law. The problem is implementing the law.
Until now,
Up
ganun pa
until
rin.
now, yan ang mga problema. And the officials that are there. So what I really believe is what we need, and this is going to be a hard sell, but we're going to have a hard time. We're trying to pass a bill for a Department of OFW,
Oh, okay.
an actual
That sounds-
agency.
That sounds practicable.
Okay, because right now, if you look,
$25 billion
Correct.
you bring in, ano ba naman?
correct, hindi
It's
ba?
more than any agency in the
Hindi ba?
Department of
Exactly,
Government.
just
Yes,
by
yes.
what they bring in, we
Oh,
survive.
you rationalize na. You
Correct.
don't even need any budget from
At
government.
saka when you think about the rationalization here, because right now, the Department of Labor, DOLE, and Foreign Affairs, and OWA,
OWA,
they
yes,
they
OWA.
start arguing with each other. It's kasalanan nyo kasi you didn't do
Ganun
this.
nga nangyayari. We read about
Diba?
that in the
Diba?
papers. We read
Okay,
about
they're
that.
even fighting with each other. Then we're not solving the problem.
Tsaka naiinis yung
Oh.
FW because they're subjected to fees, penalties,
Correct,
licenses.
correct.
Walang tigil.
Correct,
Walang
correct,
tigil.
correct. So I really believe that is one thing we can do. I'll work for that
Why
while I'm
is
in
it
Congress.
what's holding that bill, that presentation for a department for, I mean, that should go smoothly in Congress.
You would like to think so, but remember, there's always, number one, there's still money involved. I mean, it's not something we can put up. It's going to cost money.
Yes,
it's
yes,
another budget that has to be included in our national budget to put this together. But with 25 billion US dollars a year,
Yes, yes, yes.
I think it's really workable. So it's just a matter of convincing. Right now, actually, this is a proposal by Baby Arenas, Congresswoman Baby Arenas.
Interesting.
Now, yeah. And there is a Senate counterpart with Senator Revilla.
All right.
So if we can get this together and we can move it and push
Naiipit
it.
ba? Gumagalaw? Did they,
Gumagalaw
sometimes
naman, but-
ina-archive nila yung sa
Hindi
Senado
naman
eh.
ini-archive nandun, and I'm going to try and at least within Congress, I will push
You think
this.
it can go for the next 2
Sure,
years? Baka
sure.
sakali.
You can never tell, Harry.
Yeah, kasi
I mean,
may
you
income
never know.
naman kayo.
Siyempre.
Ang problema kasi ako, I drive, for example, in TM Calao in
Yeah.
Luneta. Naaawa ako sa mga marino na humihingi ng certificate bago sila makatrabaho. I
Oo.
mean, naaawa ako.
Siyempre.
They're in the sun. And these are the guys that make even better than the domestic helpers.
Correct.
And then you have the professionals that have to go abroad. And they make it difficult for them with OWA naman. Parang, tama yan. That's a good idea to create, although it will be another layer of bureaucracy, they will all now have to coordinate with the Department of OFW.
Correct. Correct.
That's the intention, am I right?
And yes, exactly. And the minute you leave as an OFW, they take care of you already. Wala na iba eh. Department of OFW na lang. And I think that's really somewhere we have to go. We have to look at that. Because right now, look, the Department of Foreign Affairs, yes, because once you're abroad,
Sila.
sila. But yet, you're going to have a department of, you're going to have an OFW representation already there.
So, in the consuls, one of the consulates,
Correct.
other than just labor, because it's everybody,
Correct.
talaga, if you're a registered professional
OFW.
working,
OFW.
meron ka talagang consul, kumbaga.
Exacto. That's the idea.
I see,
It's very
malalim
nice.
din pala. No?
No,
Malalim.
that's why it will take time, but I'm hoping that because it's my first
Yes,
term,
yes,
I'm hoping
yes.
if God wills, I run a second term, by that time we'll get something going.
Na madali para sa'yo.
And then,
No, but being that the OFW family, for one reason or another, popped out of nowhere
Right.
and took the lead as the majority for overseas development or overseas
by the
labor.
way, you know, I mean, we do have two representations.
Yes,
in
I
Congress.
realize that. I just didn't want to talk about the other, being best friend.
Yeah, best
And then, which brings us to the point, we're already at the bottom of the hour. We're going to have to take a short break,
Okay.
Congressman Johnny. But the point I'd like to bring out for the second part and discuss with you further is that funny issue where it was being promoted by the first nominee for Annapolis to sit in Congress. I mean, what an appalling thought.
Well-
but buti na lang hindi nangyayari, no?
We will discuss that
Yeah,
later,
when
so,
we come
yeah.
back. Ladies and gentlemen, now that we're going to have to take a short break, I'd like you to sit back and try to understand, okay, you're not an OFW, you're sitting back. But surely, alam mo, tayo mga Pilipino, mas lalo na sa mga probinsya, maski dito sa Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, Metro Davao, may mga kamag-anak kayo, pamilya, pinsan, miski pa paano, mga OFW, nakikita natin yan. Tsaka yung bayan natin gumaganda kundi sa kanila. Oh, taxes dito, taxes dyan, mga nakukuha dito. Pero isipin mo, i-multiply mo ng 45 yung 25 billion para maging peso. Yan ang dinadala po ng mga nagtatrabaho sa abroad. Now, buti sana kung yan lang ang pumapasok sa mga tradisyonal na gaya sa mga bangko, kung ano, marami pa dyan. Alam mo naman, Pinoy, pare, padala kay mister, padala kay padala naman dito. And then over and above that, you've got the boom just in Metro Manila alone of all the buildings, of all the houses. Can you imagine the systems of employment, yung pababa-baba, ilan nakikinabang dito sa pera na pumapasok po sa ating bayan? We'll be right back. Stay with us. I know I'm not entertaining you, but I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to rile you up. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
But that's entertaining, right?